So you speak for the congressman on his stand on issues?
As well as I can, yeah. The guys that are more the experts on a lot of the legislative issues are in DC working directly on legislation, but yeah, generally I will try to answer the questions to the best of my ability.
Well, first off, I appreciate the fact you came out here.
Yeah. Yes.
And then I think everyone here would like to see a larger town hall meeting, possibly in the future. And we're currently right now trying to make arrangements for that to happen, and we'll check with his schedule during the April break. But as a citizen, I've got a concern. I was just recently diagnosed from last year with a medical condition that's very costly. And my monthly bill alone is close to $16,000. So naturally, I'm concerned that with this stand from the Republicans on repealing the ACA, I need to know if my congressman is going to commit to the fact that a pre-existing condition he will stand by. Because without that clause, I'm screwed, plain and simple.
Yes.
What's that?
How much does
Minimum $16,000 a month for my medication.
Wow.
And along with that, because I had insurance, I had a $2,500 cap for the year, which I'm very thankful for. So I'm only out of pocket $2,500. But without that pre-existing condition, I'm bankrupt, plain and simple, and then I'm dead. So I need to know if my congressman is going to stand behind everyone that needs this pre-existing condition in whatever they present to us.
Okay. Yeah, I do know that he supports there being protections for people with pre-existing conditions. Right now, with the plan still being in the works, I'm not exactly sure what form that's going to come in yet. But that is something that he would like there to still exist.
Yes.
I'll kind of follow up on that. There are 10.1 million citizens of the United States that are covered under the ACA. I guess my question to you would be really three parts. One, can you assure us that under the new plan, all 10.1 million would still be covered? That there wouldn't be any drop in their policy. Two, if there wouldn't be a drop, would their premiums still stay the same as they are now? And three, if this can't happen, would the congressman be willing to vote against the bill?
Those are all very good questions. I'll make note of those. I'm not sure about all the answers to that. Again, we have yet to see a full plan. It's something that's been working on, and I think that something about a plan was leaked last week from the GOP. That's something that he still would like to see some work on. But yeah, I definitely can try to find that out for you.
Okay, if you would, please.
Yes.
I sent the congressman a letter on the very same topic, and I received a formal response from them indicating that they had a plan. So that seems to contradict what you're telling me.
Well, I mean, there have been several plans. I mean, at one point we had 3 separate plans posted on the website, all of which he supported parts of, just not the whole of every single one of them. And so it's working on getting those things consolidated and finding the best bill that includes those things.
Well, I also want to make a statement. I'm a township trustee in the area, and
Can you speak a little louder? So
yes,
we can
I'm
hear
a
you?
township trustee here in Mad River Township, and I have a concern from that standpoint. The township provides services, emergency medical services, fire, and police protection. And we are having a difficult time, of course, funding all those services. Recently, one of our levies didn't pass, so we had to eliminate our township deputy as a result of that.
Oh.
My big concern is funding for Medicaid. One of the programs that I looked at on the website indicated that the congressman, it seemed to imply that the congressman was in favor of shifting Medicaid to block grants to states. Should that happen, we at the local level would be in some serious trouble because those block grants would be a specified amount. Of course, costs go up year after year. The state of Ohio would have to take over those increased costs or kick people off Medicaid. Either way, townships would be hurting, because if they cut back funding, townships would have less state and local government money because funds would be cut by the state to us. And if they cut individuals, that's going to impact our emergency services, because people who don't have primary care insurance often rely on us for emergency medical services and transportation to hospitals. So either way, we're hurting at the township level, and I just want to have assurance from the congressman that he understands our situation and would be supportive of continuing full funding for Medicaid.
Okay, yeah, I will make sure that I pass it on to him and talk to him.
Is he writing?
Can I expect a response from him that actually addresses the
Yeah, so
question?
anyone, if you ask a question, I'm actually gonna pass this around. Actually, everyone here, that you can go ahead and put your name and information on here if you'd like, but I'm gonna actually start over
In the
here.
past, what I've gotten from him has been his newsletter, which simply says how he supports pretty much
Yeah, that's what I was
everything
gonna say. I don't even know. Do you mind if we borrow that?
that
Thank you very much.
President Trump is.
Hi, I live in the village. I want to know, is the congressman a supporter of Donald Trump?
He supported him in the election over Hillary Clinton, but he wants to keep a close eye on him because he's not a big fan of a lot of the rhetoric and things.
I noticed a couple weeks ago he had a press conference, and he said he had the biggest electoral victory since Ronald Reagan. And a reporter says Obama had more of a victory in electoral college in 08 and 12. And he says, I meant Republican, since a Republican since Reagan. He says, no, George W. Bush. And so he basically, and the reporter says, well, how are we to believe you? You are giving us false information. And then you say that the reporters make, what do they call that, fake news? You know, and I'm thinking, how can I support the congressman? You took Boehner's spot, right?
Yes, sir.
And how can I support what's the name, Davidson?
Yes.
If he supports Trump and Trump is a liar, how can I support him in this next election? And another thing, Donald Trump bragged about sexually assaulting women. You remember that? I guess it's okay if you take Tic Tacs. And, you know, he disparaged John McCain. Said John McCain wasn't a hero because, you know, he was captured. That's why he's a hero. No, I believe John McCain was shot down over combat mission, over Hanoi. So he is a hero. He disparaged the family of that, the Gold Star mother and father, disparaged them. I mean, he disparaged the judge in Indiana, who, because his parents are Mexican, but he's born in this country, because he couldn't rule on the Trump fraud case. A week after Trump was elected or chosen, he settled the fraud case, the Trump University and Trump personally, for $25 million. So apparently he's not only a liar, he's a fraud. So how can we do that? How can we support your guy? And I don't want to take any more time.
Thank you. Yeah, because I think we have some definite policies and issues.
That's, yes, and that's what I'm here to talk about.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Can I just ask a question?
Well, we're all gonna ask questions, but, yeah, go ahead.
Could people identify
Well, he's
themselves?
gonna ask a question.
I don't know whether it's a question or statement, but all my life, I voted Republican, and I was living the American dream. I had a condo, a nice job, and I worked like 60 hours a week for years, decades. Then I got sick. I had stage 4 cancer. So because of that, I couldn't work. And after Cobra, I had no insurance. Fortunately, Obamacare came along, and I thank God I had something. But let me tell you the hell that your party put me through every time I looked on the news to see repeal, repeal, repeal. How does that make me feel that you guys wanted to take my insurance away? How am I supposed to pay for my expenses for the medicine that's already overpriced? This guy says he's paying $15,000. Well, that is expensive. I pay close to that too to keep me alive. Now, I don't trust you guys because first you just wanted to repeal it. You wanted to do nothing else. Now you say you're going to repeal it and replace it. Plus, on top of the other lies that you're telling, I just don't trust it. And this is the nightmare I have. Not only do I have to deal with the cancer, but I have to watch you guys giving more money to defense, which we're already the most powerful country by far in the world. Do tax breaks for the rich, which absolutely means nothing because they don't pay taxes anyway. So how am I supposed to feel? How is somebody that voted for Republican all this time until I needed help, and that your party has left me behind? How am I supposed to feel about that? Your party has no empathy. I see none of it. No empathy. You elected a president that is the worst I have ever seen in understanding how other people feel. And I'll tell you something else. I wasn't even going to come today until I turned on the news and heard him say, Obama has sent us all. And that just made me so mad. Here I am.
We get $1,500 to be here.
Yeah, thanks.
We are constituents.
Ian,
Dean.
my name's Carl Ruby.
Yeah.
I'm the pastor of Central Christian Church in Springfield. It's a evangelical church. And I am, for the most part, a lifelong Republican and could not support this year's candidate. I have a visceral reaction against him. I want to comment on the Congressman Davidson's statement on immigration on your website. And he makes a very clear statement that he is against amnesty. No one has proposed amnesty. The Senate bill that passed was a 12-year process, multiple criminal background checks, thousands of dollars in fines. And when Davidson talks about he's here to make sure that the existing laws are enforced, that would put one of Springfield's largest employers out of business. Dole Foods is one of the biggest employers in Clark County. They contribute millions of dollars to our tax base, and everyone knows the majority of people who work out there are undocumented people. And I'm not opposed to a fence. I'm not opposed to reasonable steps for border security, but there has to be more than that. It's physically impossible to deport 11 million people. So I would like to hear him. I would like to hear him get past that and say, here's what we're going to do to help these people come out of the shadows, to become taxpayers. Most of them are taxpayers already. But I feel like Davidson's rhetoric is to appeal to people on the far right, and it's unworkable.
Yeah.
And I want to hear
We got about 10 minutes, so we'll try to speed the questions up a
Let's
little
go on to
bit.
mid-questions.
Could you tell me where Mr. Davidson stands on the investigation into Russia's involvement in the
Good question.
And that I actually haven't gotten a statement about from him. I'm sure he is on top of ethics and very interested in Congress having oversight of the executive branch. So I'm sure if that happens, he would love for Congress to be able to take part in that investigation. But as of right now, I haven't talked to him specifically about.
Let him know
where
we
he's
want
at.
to know. We want an independent investigation. Not just congressional. Independent.
Yeah, I'm the mother of a developmentally disabled person, And I want to go back and revisit the Medicaid block grants for a moment if I can. I just want to get across to Mr. Davidson that he needs to vote no on those. What it means for the states, for the people in the states is they're going to be competing between hospitals, nursing homes, mental health, low income, seniors, and the DD population. And the most vulnerable of that whole group is the DD. They have no voice at all. And for them to lose Medicaid and be at the bottom of the barrel for all the money that the little bit of money that each state is going to get from the federal government for Medicaid is not a workable solution. It doesn't serve the needs of the people. So having to vote
How does Trump feel about the disabled?
well, we know how
Yeah.
that is.
Besides making fun of them.
Yeah, besides the.
So there's a House bill coming forward, 610, which is going to eliminate the Education Act of 1965. And it is once again going to, there are no protections in this new proposed legislation that protect access for students with disability. It is also eliminating any standards for nutritional excellence in the food that's given to really poor children for breakfast and lunch. And you know, this is a very rural district, I believe. I mean, there are some cities like Springfield, but having vouchers for alternative education besides public education is not a viable situation. And public education is really the heart of building a democratic society. And so I would like to know if Representative Davidson is going to support continuing money to public education and not try and dismantle it.
I do believe that he has no intentions of taking away money from public education. The House Bill 610 is something that we started getting a lot of volume of calls on this week specifically, so I do expect a statement on that pretty soon. Yes.
Well, I just want to echo on the same House bill, the whole thing about free lunch. I'm from Springfield and I taught in the city schools for 30 years. And I have seen children who needed that food, and when we have a weekend, they don't have a food. And so now they have a program where they give kids bags to take home. I'm also a CASA who works with kids from juvenile court, and I know of a situation where a mother didn't have enough food, so she gave food to the child who didn't go to school because the child who went to school was getting lunch and breakfast. I know children at our church whose family don't have enough money in the summer when the free lunch program is not in existence because they have to buy food for the kids that they don't do during the school year. Our urban kids and probably rural kids too depend on that free lunch and free breakfast. That is critical.
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Jason Barlow, president of UAW at Navistar, which is one of the largest employers here in Clark County. I represent over 1,400 active members and 4,300 retirees. And I want to talk to you about House Resolution 744. It was proposed by Joe Wilson, South Carolina, and Steve King in Iowa. It's for a national right to work. I have concerns about it in regards to the membership's ability for collective bargaining, to improve wages and benefits, which also have a ripple effect within this community. For every job that we have creates 4 in the community, and even when the Chamber of Commerce has even telling us that we need to hold the line for wages, I mean, they're urging a union to fight for wages. I mean, that says something. And I'd like to know what, Congressman Davidson's position is on right to work.
Do we have a response to what his position is on right to work?
I do not have a response to that. I'm, again, it's something I'd be more than happy to find out. If I can make sure I can get your contact information. Yeah, and that's anyone, with a few minutes wrapping up, I do want to make sure we get as much contact information from people as possible, so that we can get responses to anything that.
Wait a
That's
minute.
how you'll
Wait a
respond.
minute.
I'm sorry.
No. You can't have a town hall in 45 minutes.
This is not a town hall, sir.
Half an hour? You're supposed to be representing us.
Sir, this is not a town hall meeting. This is a staff conducted mobile office hours meeting that we do on a monthly basis. And people are able to come here every single month and talk to us about policy concerns, any casework, stuff like that they'd like to talk to us about. And we do take that back to the congressman and try to get responses from him to answer you guys' concerns.
Well, when is he gonna have town halls so we all can speak?
That's something that we're looking into planning right now for the next recess and going
Or
forward.
it's gonna be the recess then?
Well, I mean, the Congress is in session for the next 6 weeks.
Are you coming back here
in
next
DC.
month?
Our other representative, Ben, will be here. I'm covering
Here
for him
in this
today,
building?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I feel like we're living in some kind of
We are.
foreign country or something lately.
We are setting
I
up.
mean, we
we've
can't
got
be
a venue and
heard, we
everything
can't get
for
answers.
April.
How will he
Sorry, for
respond to
April.
all these
April 8th,
questions?
we've got a venue.
Yeah.
How will the congressman respond to all of the questions brought forth today? How will we hear the answers?
Well, we frequently send out newsletters as well as mailers regarding the congressman's stances. We also, if we get your contact information and you address the issue on there in the comment section about what you're talking about, we will get a response to you over that topic. And I am taking extensive notes on what everyone is saying.
The truth is, we don't matter. You guys rigged the election. You made it so that Democrats can hardly vote. And now we have no say-so. We're stuck. We are just stuck.
Ian,
That's how I feel.
it would be helpful if we would, those people who sign this, if we would get a specific email addressing these questions. So we can
And
we have a
Yeah.
person that doesn't.
Yes.
question.
We actually have a staff member that is, their job is
That
to,
would be
is to,
helpful.
yes, to do that.
Donald Trump has financial interest in the U.S. and all over the world that could cause major conflicts of interest. We know that there's growing evidence that he has financial ties to the Russian government, and that really scares a lot of people. One way that he could ease our minds is by releasing his tax returns. It's my understanding that Congress can act unilaterally to do that.
That was
And
voted
I'm
down
wondering-
yesterday.
Unanimously
He
by
voted
the
no for it
Republicans.
yesterday.
Oh, he
Of
voted
course.
no.
Yeah.
Why did he vote
Yeah,
no?
it got voted down yesterday.
Of course.
He voted no?
Yeah, all Republicans
All
voted no.
Republicans
Two Republicans
unanimously.
did not vote. The
Yeah,
representative from South Carolina and
Whoa.
I forget who the other
The
representative
Russian
was.
government has his tax returns.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
I just
still
wanted
I'm
to
here
tell you that.
Putin to get that. Okay.
Do you
know why
instead of dispelling
Representative
it,
voted
prove
that
us
down?
wrong?
I did not realize he took a vote on Trump releasing his tax returns
Yeah.
yesterday.
There was some.
Yeah,
Why don't you
sounds
join
like
us?
there's reasoning behind that.
Why don't you join us? Be on our side. I'm gonna have to
Get
have
on
my
this
say,
side.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to. I'm Barry Garrett, I'm from Springfield, Ohio, and I worked at Navistar for almost 38 years. If it hadn't been for our union, I wouldn't have what I have today, my pensions and stuff like that. One of the things that I've got to say is this, we're sitting on a time bomb all around our area in Springfield. They put a dump over our aquifer, and that feeds all of Springfield. And the very guy that he put in over the EPA has got lawsuits against them.
There you go.
Has got lawsuits against them, and they only want to do partial. There's liquid in there, folks. Once it gets into the aquifer, that's what made Springfield what it was our water. What's a water? You know, and you're talking about the coal jobs in West Virginia, now he's going to allow them to run the runoff of that into the streams. You know what I'm saying? And it just, I'm thinking, he takes
It's almost like he's,
conflict to control the message, and then he uses illusions. And
Yeah.
he backtrack all the time. Folks, listen to me. I'm sorry, I'm upset. But the words that come out of this man's mouth, did we say it? Do you watch the same TV? What he said about the people?
You know, he's going to compromise Christianity because a lot of the Christians are voting for him and stuff like that against principles. That's not what Christ wanted us to do. He wanted us to love and cherish
That's right.
and hold everybody, every soul is special in his life. I got to go. I got to take a vet. I got to go see John Dole, shake the hands of the veterans and stuff like that. Those guys gave their life for this country. And here he's a vet. I admire him for his service. But the very guy is taking and jeopardizing even the people that we got over there in Iraq. There was a guy come back with a man, an interpreter from Iraq, that was wounded serving our country. And he's getting on there saying, well, we're going to go in and take their oil. That's a war crime. And they're going to take the oil. Well, that's putting all these other people in jeopardy that's serving over there. I mean, when he talks down the military, and he talks down our justice system.
Isn't it time
And
for
then the
people
fake
like
news,
you?
the fake news.
Isn't it time for people like you to start putting the country before party?
Yes.
Do what your conscience is telling you.
I'm just a field representative.
You're a member of the GOP.
We know.
Our voice.
We vote for Trump. He's doing what he's supposed to.
He is a GOP member. He needs to start somewhere.
Mitty is our voice for today.
This has got to be the last question. I got to get going.
All right, Rep. Davidson is sponsoring House Bill 826, a bill with the catchy title of Drain the Swamp Bill of 2017, which is an attempt to decentralize executive agencies of the government and relocate them to places all over the country. If he wants to truly drain the swamp, wouldn't he have to figure out a way to stop the president from refilling the swamp with generals who want to be close to the Pentagon and close to the defense contractors who want to wine and dine them? And wouldn't he want to hold congressmen and some of these committee chairs and some of these newly nominated and confirmed executives of agencies, wouldn't he want to hold their feet to the fire because they've been up to their necks profiting in the swampy business on Wall Street and the energy companies and making deals with Russians and deregulations of industry so they can all line their own pockets while doing nothing to help the poor and the working people. That's what it means to drain the swamp.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
We do appreciate you coming.
Yes,
we do. Thank you. One final thing, could you give us a phone number that we can reach our congressman at? Because it's not in any phone book. I've looked in every phone book, and none of our congressmen are listed in there. We have to go on our website. I don't have a website, I don't have a computer. I'm just an ordinary guy, a voter, who's a Republican, and I can't get in touch with my representatives.
I don't know why it wouldn't be in the phone book.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Well, you should ask them why it is. Because it's not.
We don't tell them to exclude our number.
Well, it's not in any phone book. You have to call the congressional.
3 different phone numbers on our website. We're not.
I don't have a website. I should be able to go to the phone book and find who my representative is. And he is hiding from us.